Good evening. I want to welcome everyone to our February 16, 2021 school board meeting. And we do open this board meeting with great sadness, um, as it has been reported, and we have all managed to get through the week of losing a comrade, Dr. Michael Edmondson. He was here at our January board meeting, and it's February, and he's not. And we are deeply saddened and have tremendous condolences to the family and friends and his church family, and to the MCSD family as well. We will have a moment, several moments. I imagine other board members want to express their personal reflections or sentiments for Dr. Edmondson, and I think this is appropriate for us to do so. And we're going to open our board meeting um, with those moments of personal reflection. I certainly enjoyed Dr. Edmondson's input. It was truly valued. He contributed often and regularly to the work that we do here, that important work that we do here on behalf of the students and the employees at the Muskogee County School District. And I understand that Ms. Williams wants to be the first to lead us off in our reflections, and I will recognize you at this time, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mike was a good man. He loved to party and he could bake a mean pound cake. He was a good educator, mentor, and colleague. He was a good board member and he represented his district well. He was a good neighbor and an amazing son. And I was especially blessed to call him a good friend. And when you have all that goodness wrapped into one body, the passing somehow is greater, and he will be missed by many, many who called him a friend, who depended on him for advice and guidance, who just loved him. And I am one of those. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Williams.
I'd like to say something, Madam Chair.
Mr. Cantrell.
When I'm looking at this picture of Mike, um, he was sincerely one of the nicest persons I have ever met. He truly was. I mean, it was just his heart and soul was just a kind individual and a dedicated person. I had the privilege of talking with Mike, and I was even looking at it. It's so sad because on December 11th, he sent me a text and just saying, Mark, I went to the doctor and it came back real bad. And he says it's inoperable and incurable. And that was on December 11th. And then I believe he passed away like on February the 10th. I think that was the date. And it's just, you just shake your head and just wonder, how does things like this happen? It really, you never can get used to it. But Mike was a dear friend to so many folks and such a brilliant man. He really was. And we will miss him, loved him as a brother, and just the way I felt about Mike. And I know so many more people feel the exact same way.
Thank you, Mr. Cantrell.
I would like to add that, I only really knew Mike for these 2 years as a board member. And in this too short of a time, I saw, though, his love of public education, his dedication to fellow teachers and to students. And he was definitely a fierce advocate for all of them. And he will just be greatly missed.
Indeed. Thank you, Ms. Cray. Dr. Sly?
I'm extremely handicapped here. We're apparently not connected to the internet, but I wanted to say how much I admire Dr. Edmondson. I particularly admired his consistent appeal to the board for things that would help the teachers. He had a special affiliation with the teachers, and he was recently from the teaching profession. So I want to say goodbye to Michael. He was a grand fellow and a good fighter up to the last end.
Madam Chair, this is Kia Chambers. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I just would like to echo the sentiments of the other board members that Mike, although I didn't know him long for just these 2 years on the board, we had become pretty close. I do consider him to be a friend, and he was passionate about education, and that's what I admired the most, and he was sincere, and he will truly, truly be missed. Thank you.
Madam
Okay.
Chair.
Hi, Madam Chair. I would like to say that, I didn't, know Mike long, but he was a true friend. On February the 2nd, he sent me a red heart. And, I guess that was his way of saying goodbye. Muskogee County has lost one of the best of the best. And he was not your typical politician. He was a true servant and a friend to everyone that he came in contact with. Thank you.
Madam
Thank you,
Chair.
Ms. Jackson and Ms. Chambers. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Buckner, go ahead.
Okay. Like many of the board members, I didn't know Mike that well, other than serving with him on the school board. And of course, he often brought us those pound cakes that Kathy referenced earlier, or some kind of sweet delight during the board meetings. What I know about him is pretty much what Mrs. Chambers said. He was very, very passionate about education. He was very focused on making sure that our students were prepared to, after graduation, to go in whatever direction they want to go in to be successful. He was also passionate about making sure that the teachers' needs were met, because he understood the connection between teachers and learning and students. He had a short time on the board, but he had a very big impact. And we will really, really miss Mike as a board member. And I'm sure the city and students and teachers in Muskogee County will also miss him.
Very well said, Buckner. Dr. Lewis?
Yes, I would just be repeating a lot of what's been said from the standpoint that Dr. Edmondson was someone I came to really admire and respect. He was passionate about public education specifically, and is an advocate for our teachers. He is somebody that I really came to really respect and admire also for being a lifelong learner. Right up to the very end, he was taking an advanced coursework to complete another degree in the area of psychology. And I think this is just emblematic of his commitment to lifelong learning and his commitment as an educator. But more importantly than all of that, as many have said, he was a truly good man, someone who I really got to know more and more over the last couple of years, but specifically the last few months when he was in his fight for his life. But he is someone that I have deep regard for in his commitment, but also for the legacy he's going to leave personally and professionally. He will truly be missed, but he will leave, and we should all be so lucky to leave a legacy as he will in this community. And Madam Chair, when it's appropriate, I'd like to add an item to the agenda, a resolution commemorating Dr. Evanson's life and legacy.
Okay, we will do that, Dr. Lewis, right before we 1.05. And I think it is certainly appropriate, as we do many resolutions, to resolve in this solemn moment for Michael Edmondson certainly rises to the very same level of importance, if not greater. And we will amend the agenda when we get to that point. And I do want to say that a request has been made to Mayor of Columbus to order or authorize the flags be flown at HAS staff. And so we're waiting for that reply as well. He will be missed. So we will go into our inspiration. And before that, Ms. McCray, before you go into your inspiration, I'd just like to ask for a moment of silence because we lost 3 tremendous educators, including Dr. Edmondson. And if there are any others that we weren't made aware of, I ask for a moment of silence to remember those fallen. Thank you so very much. Ms. McCray.
We have for inspiration tonight, we have a short video about Black History Month. I think it's coming.
Thank you very much. Next, we will have Johnson Elementary School with Principal Hanner to bring our pledge and character word.
Hi, my name is Carol Gallatin. I'm proud dean at Johnson Elementary. Please join Ms. Wilson's kindergarten class in saying the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by Tatiana Richardson with our character word of the month.
Hi, my name is Tatiana Richardson. I'm a 5th grader in Ms. Williams' class, and I attend school at Johnson Elementary. For the February character word, integrity, meaning steadfast adherence to a strict code of moral, ethical, or artistic values, to consistently be truthful, sincere, and fair, keeping one's word.
Outstanding. Great job, Johnson. Thank you for sharing the video of our wonderful boys and girls with us. We really look forward to that. Item 1.04 is the Great Kindness Week Challenge. This is a national initiative, and we all enjoy when Muskogee County schools participate district-wide, and they all did something different. And we have a little video of the collection of the different activities that the schools that they're going to share with us, just a snippet of what we did district-wide from school to schools on different levels.
Good morning, Midland Middle Middle School, and welcome to our Great Kindness Challenge Kickoff Assembly. Mr. Hale, Mrs. Waller, Coach Edwards, and I are so happy to be here with you this morning to tell you all about this week specifically devoted to kindness.
This is a sweet treat for being so kind and help supporting Kindness Week. Thank you. You're welcome.
I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a bulletin board in the hallway that says K, and then there's a blank yellow spot, and then it says ND, but there's no I. It's supposed to say kind, but there's no I. And that's because you can be the I in kind.
I helped a homeless person with their homeless engagement too. I put the I in.
Be kind. Be kind. Be kind. And then be kind. Be kind.
that's about it for us today. Everyone have fun, and remember that every kind act matters, not just this week, but always.
That was awesome.
And Madam Chair, I believe
That
we
was
have Dr.
awesome.
Trequila Nelson with us this
Yes.
evening.
Dr. Nelson,
Hi.
thank you for gathering all of that information for us. We really appreciate it since we weren't able to get out this year.
Thank you so much. Dr. Lewis is holding up. We are officially a certified kindness school district. So what a huge honor. Each school received a certificate, but our district, we're one of the only in the state of Georgia where the entire district is certified as kind. So congratulations to Muskogee County School District. We couldn't have done it without the wonderful counselors organizing and orchestrating all of the every single day. So we look forward to next year. It's going to be bigger and better, but and you guys will definitely join us next year. So thank you so much.
So were we recognized as a district because we've been participating so long, one of the first school districts to participate?
Well, we actually got it because all of the schools participated. So that's how, and they did something every single day. In the past, we've had only a couple of schools to participate in the Kindness Challenge, but this year, 54, the entire district did something every single day. So including, different departments, McPeck, we all had some fun at the district office, just spreading joy and kindness.
Great. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For all that you do. And we appreciate all of our counselors and guidance department.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now I need a motion, and we will have to vote by hand to amend the agenda to add the resolution in recognition for Dr. Edmondson.
Madam Chair, I move approval of the agenda as amended to incorporate that resolution.
I second the motion, Kia Chambers.
All right, motion by Ms. Williams, second by Ms. Chambers. Hand vote. All in favor?
Madam Chair, my hand is up, Vanessa Jackson.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. All right, that looks like it's unanimous. So that motion passes.
Yes.
And thank you, Dr. Sly.
Welcome.
Yes.
So next is recognition.
Kia Chambers.
Thank you, Ms. Chambers. Am I doing the?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I think you have the proclamation for National School Counseling Week.
So item item 2.01, we're in the section of recognitions. And the resolution is the Muskogee County Board of Education National School Counseling Week, February 1st through the 5th, 2021 proclamation. Whereas we celebrate school counselors who are all in for all students. We applaud their unique contributions within the Muskogee County School District, and whereas school counselors are employed in public and private schools to help students reach their full potential, and whereas school counselors are actively committed to helping students explore their abilities, strengths, interests, and talents as these traits relate to career awareness and development, and whereas school counselors help parents focus on ways to further the educational, personal, and social growth of their children, and whereas school counselors work with teachers and other educators to help students explore their potential and set realistic goals for themselves, and whereas school counselors seek to identify and utilize community resources that can enhance and complement the comprehensive school counseling programs and help students become productive members of society. And whereas comprehensive developmental school counseling programs are considered an integral part of the educational process that enables all students to achieve success in schools, and whereas school counselors have been particularly essential in addressing the social and emotional trauma experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Education of Muskogee County School District does hereby proclaim the first week of February as National School Counseling Week in all public schools of Muskogee County School District, and calls upon school administrators, teachers, students, and citizens of Muskogee County to recognize and support this action and to participate in the celebration of National School Counseling Week. By unanimous vote on an item later, at the regular Board of Education meeting for the Muskogee County School Board, Columbus, Georgia, the 16th day of February, 2021.
Move approval, Madam Chair.
There's a motion by Ms. Williams,
Second it.
second by Mr. Cantrell. Is this a hand vote or electronic?
This will be electronic vote, ma'am, except for Dr. Schley, who's on his phone. He'll have to be a voice vote.
All right, we're ready to vote now. Dr. Sly, your pleasure.
I'm here.
All right, we'll take that as a yes vote. And
So what do I do?
we got you, Dr. Sly.
Don't have a vote for Kia Chambers.
Is she still on? Ms. Chambers?
I don't see Miss Chambers on anymore, ma'am.
Okay, we'll just watch for her in case she tries to log back in.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you go ahead and tally? All right, that passes. Item 2.02 is the Career and Technical Education Month 2021. And I believe Ms. Victoria Thomas is prepared to speak on that.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Board, Dr. Lewis. The Association for Career and Technical Education, or ACTE, in Georgia Department of Education has designated February 1st through 28th, 2021 as Career and Technical Education Month. CTAE programs are offered at each of our middle schools in the district and all of our high schools with the exception of Rainey McCullough School of the Arts. Programs are offered in 16 of the 17 career clusters recognized by the state of Georgia. One of our most recent additions of note being the EMT program at Shaw High School, leading to our first graduate of the program, Alejandro Corridor, who was recently featured on the news as well as in the Ledger Inquirer. CTA programs are a rigorous, progressive, and vital part of the total education system, and participation in CTA improves academic performance by engaging students through meaningful experiences, preparing them for careers in post-secondary education, and giving students leadership opportunities in their fields. These programs are consistently effective, and the graduation rate of CTA students exceeds that of MCSD's overall graduation rate. The latest figures for which we have access are the class of 2019, when Muskogee County's overall graduation rate was 86.1%. The CTAE pathway completers graduation rate was 98%. CTA programs provide equity and access for students from all socioeconomic backgrounds and academic ability levels, preparing them for high wage, high skill job and in-demand careers. CTA programs have shown a genuine commitment to preparing students for their lives after high school by providing them opportunities to earn career-ready diploma seals, explore their individual career options, earn industry-recognized credentials, and gain valuable work-based learning experiences and receiving college credit. Our CTA department is one of only 5 in the state to hold the distinction of being an economic development partnership district, and we continue to build strong partnerships to include our ongoing work with Pratt & Whitney, TSYS Global Payments, the Columbus Fire Department, and the Greater Columbus Chamber of Commerce, to name a few. Gaining statewide recognition recently is our new ED2, or Teachers Are Economic Developers 2 program with the Chamber of Commerce, which is already being shared statewide as a model for workforce development. The ever-increasing cooperative efforts of CTA teachers with businesses and industry stimulate growth and vitality for our local economy by preparing graduates for career fields forecast to experience the largest and fastest growth in the next decade. By successfully partnering with business and industry, CTAE ensures students are equipped with the advanced communication, time management, and leadership skills required for lifelong career success. So I would like to take this opportunity to recognize the CTA teachers throughout the district for their dedication, and also to thank the entire school district, school board, and Dr. Lewis for their continued support for these vital programs. And if I could have just one additional moment of privilege, I just want to also say, on behalf of the entire CTA department, that we are deeply saddened by the loss of Dr. Edmondson. I personally received several notes from him, handwritten notes, thanking me for my dedication and congratulating us for our work on the Jordan College and Career Academy, the Shaw EMT program, and other things that he wanted to show support for. So we just wanted to add to everyone else's statements about what a significant man he was and what a loss that is for our district. Thank you.
Indeed, especially with the STEM Center, Ms. Thomas. Also, just for people who are accustomed to hearing VOTEC or vocational trades in the school, that's what the new trade school and vocational technical career is called now, CTAE, career and technical.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that colloquialism for the people who think we no longer teach trades in high school. They can get it in high school now, and some have even earned certifications. And so we are really proud of that, and we thank you for all that you do and expanding the opportunities for our students to learn such vital skills. So we really appreciate that. And on behalf of our non-member board, we also extend that recognition and congratulations to all of the teachers who work in that division.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Item 2.03 is a resolution for Miss Mary Lee Hall Bussey. I will ask Ms. Williams, who was working on with the community on this resolution, to read it for us.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I'd like to thank a couple of people. Karen Jones and Dr. Lewis worked diligently to get the information. Cindy Gerard and Dr. Judy Purnell of CSU of putting this all together. I'd like to offer this resolution in the form of a motion, and it reads, whereas Mary Lee Hall Bussey, a graduate of Spelman College, BA English and Education 1943, and Atlanta University Med English and Education 1949, came to Columbus in 1950 to serve as a Gene Supervisor for Black teachers in Muskogee County, and served in this capacity until 1968. Whereas Mrs. Bussey had sole supervision over what were then called Negro schools during this time of segregation in Columbus, Georgia. Whereas Mrs. Bussey provided training and support for all the teachers in these schools. Whereas during her tenure, Spencer High School, Columbus's first high school for Negroes, moved to 10th Avenue from 10th Avenue to new construction on Shepherd Drive, and George Washington Carver High School, the second major high school for Black students, was constructed. Whereas the Muskogee County School District honors past superintendents by hanging their portraits in a place of honor. Whereas segregation denied Mrs. Bussey the status of superintendent when that was her function and calling. Whereas Mrs. Bussey died March 19th, 2002, and is buried in Green Acres Cemetery in Columbus, Georgia, and her descendants remain involved in this community. Now therefore, the Muskogee County School Board resolves that Mrs. Mary Lee Hall Bussey be given the honor of the title Superintendent, and her authority and leadership over the Negro schools in Muskogee County from 1950 to 1968 be recognized and honored by this body, and copies of this resolution and Mrs. Bussey's portrait be shared with Spencer and Carver High Schools, and a professional portrait, oil, or photograph be commissioned and hung with the other superintendents in a place of honor within the halls of the Muskogee County School District offices, and a press release documenting this recognition be made to all local media and featured on the Muskogee County School District website, and Mrs. Bussey's descendants be invited to a formal reception when the portrait is hung. Resolved this day, February 16th, 2021, by the Muskogee County School Board. I offer this in the form of a motion, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, I'd like to second that motion.
Motion by Ms. Williams, second by Ms. Buckner. And we are ready. Any questions? Board members, you have any questions? We're ready to vote electronically. Dr. Sly, how would you vote?
I vote positive.
Yes, sir.
This is an electronic, oh, here we go. Madam Chair, while you're waiting for the votes to come in, I will just note that this was serendipitously brought before us during Black History Month. It was not planned. That's the way sometimes it happens in our community, and appropriately so.
Indeed.
I don't have a vote from Kia Chambers.
I don't see her on.
Is Dr. Purnell in the room?
Yes, ma'am, she's here.
I hope you'll give her just a minute of recognition, Madam Chair.
All right, that vote passes. Dr. Purnell?
You're on mute.
Okay, let me unmute. I almost cried. I almost cried. I am excited. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Superintendent Lewis, the Board of Education, Muskogee County. This is a wonderful day, a wonderful move on behalf of you all and the community for this particular recognition. I thank you, and I'm sure that the rest of the Columbus, Georgia community thanks you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Purnell. You brought it before us and you lifted it up, and it was kind of easy after your heavy lift.
And I know I speak for the other superintendents in saying we welcome her to the fraternity.
Thank you, sir. Listen, thank you all very much. And if there's anything that I can do for the Muskogee County Board of Education, I'm always ready to be of aid and assistance. Education is the key. It is the key.
So much, Dr. Purnell.
Thank you.
That. Thank you for all that you do in the community.
And thank you.
Okay, the agenda was amended to add the proclamation for Dr. Edmondson. It doesn't have a number. We will take a hand vote, and I will read the proclamation of Muskogee County School District. I'm sorry, is a resolution of respect in memory of Dr. Michael Edmondson. We, the members of the governance team of the Muskogee County School District, join together to express both our grief for the loss of our colleague, Dr. Michael Edmondson, as well as our gratitude and respect for his legacy of service to the Muskogee County School District and the community at large. Whereas Dr. Edmondson attended Muskogee County School District schools from the age of 12 and was a 1972 graduate of Hardaway High School, and whereas Dr. Edmondson earned a bachelor's, a master's, and specialist degrees from Columbus State University and a PhD from Auburn University, and whereas Dr. Edmondson taught over 11,000 students, and yes, he counted, as a science educator while serving at Spencer Hardaway and Northside Schools during his 33-year career in the Muskogee County School District. And whereas Dr. Edmondson was recognized as an exceptional top teacher as a recipient of the Ledger and Choir Page 1 Sarah Spano Top Award, a 1990 Muskogee Educational Excellence Foundation Teacher of the Year, and a Georgia Secondary Schools Science Teacher of the Year. And whereas Dr. Edmondson received the Presidential Award for Excellence in Science and Mathematics from President George H.W. Bush, presented at the White House. And whereas Dr. Edmondson concurrently served as an adjunct professor, as a clinical field experiences supervisor for the Woodrow Wilson program at Columbus State University. And whereas Dr. Edmondson was elected in 2018 to the Muskogee County School Board as the District 2 representative, where he was recognized as a strong and passionate advocate for students and teachers alike. And whereas Dr. Edmondson was a lifelong learner, completing his final course for an additional degree in the field of psychology after learning of his diagnosis. And whereas Dr. Edmondson is fondly remembered by students and colleagues for his steadfast dedication and commitment, and by his many friends and the community for his generosity and empathy toward others. And whereas the passing of Dr. Edmondson has caused a deep void of sadness in the community, now therefore be it resolved this 16th day of February 2021 that we, the governance team, on behalf of the Muskogee County School District and community at large, mourn with the family, celebrate the legacy, and pledge to continue the great work of Dr. Michael H. Edmondson. I need a motion.
Move approval.
Motion by Ms. Williams
I vote yes.
and second by Ms. Buckner.
Naomi, but yes.
Dr. Slides voting in the affirmative, hand raise, or for everyone, it looks unanimous. That motion passes. Thank you all. System recognitions.
Good evening. Thank you for having me this evening. As always, I think I would be remiss if I didn't take this moment following that resolution to remember Dr. Edmondson. If I didn't also add my admiration and respect for his professional ethics and also his inclination towards intelligence and his personal impact on my family. He was my father's science teacher, and I heard many great stories, also very many exciting stories that piqued my own personal interest in science. So I just want to take that moment to say I too will miss Dr. Edmondson's additions to our board and to our overall district mission of upholding the we. So with that, we just have a couple of recognitions this evening. First, we'll start off with a award of excellence that we received from our annual Georgia School Public Relations Award ceremonies this past couple of weeks. This is an award ceremony that recognizes PR professionals across the state for exceptional communication skills by producing outstanding publications, photography, and electronic media. And I don't want to be before you long. I'll just let you know that we did bring home 3 gold awards of excellence and 2 silver awards of excellence. And they're in the following categories: gold, excellence in writing, and 2 marketing campaigns. The excellence in writing category relates to our district and Board of Education response to racial acts of violence. And our marketing campaigns relate to the Personalized Learning Initiative and our 2020 eSPLOS proposed renewal. In the silver categories, we included crisis communications and newsletter or magazine. And for crisis communications, that included our district COVID-19 response plan. And for the newsletter or magazine category, that included our monthly news and updates and our newsletters that you all engage in. So at this time, I would like to do something a little different and just say and recognize all of our stakeholders who have made this possible in upholding what we try to do in the communications office, sharing the great stories, being transparent and accountable, and being timely and responsive. So thank you very much for allowing me to serve in that capacity.
And Madam Chair, I might point out that Mercedes is a department of one, but a very strong department she is, and we appreciate all that she does every day.
Indeed. Indeed.
Thank you.
Does that include recognition?
No, it does not. We have 1 final, very important recognition, if we can move to the next slide. Of course, our Above and Beyond the Call of Duty Award is always something that we cherish, and this month's award winner is Princess Crittenden, who is the guidance director at Richardson Middle School. She has been with the Muskogee County School District for quite some time. She began with us as a counselor at Richardson Middle School in 1999 and was promoted to director in 2001. Lance Henderson, her principal, nominated her, and he had a few things to say, and I will share briefly. I am so excited to have the opportunity to nominate Mrs. Princess Crittenden for the ABCD Award. I've known her for 20 plus years, both personally and professionally, and have had the opportunity to work with her directly for the past 6 years at Richards Middle School. She works hard for her students and teachers, and she makes sure that they know they have a safe place to run when they need someone who will listen to their concerns. They also know that she will hold them accountable for things and that she is not just a yes counselor. If they screw up, she lets them know. If they fail to uphold their responsibilities, she lets them know. And if they aren't living up to being the best that they can be, she lets them know that as well. Princess works tirelessly building these relationships with teachers and students, and they know that she will be there to support them during tough times and will be there to celebrate with them during joyous times. I am so thankful to work with a counselor who has the drive and motivation of a princess, who also has the heart of a queen. Our Director of Counseling and School Social Work Services, Dr. Nelson, also added that as a counselor, Princess Crittenden is responsible for helping her students cultivate positive change in their lives through self-discovery. She is truly a dedicated servant leader, change agent, and her character is fearless without blemish. She proves to be a dynamic force within our school system and community. She is a beacon of light for all of those who encounter her gifts and talents. She is most deserving of the ABCD Award. Indeed, I would go so far to state that she is most likely the exact type of candidate for whom the ABCD Award was conceptualized in the first place. So at this time, I will turn it over to Ms. Princess Crittenden for any remarks. And I do believe we have Mr. Henderson and Dr. Nelson on the call as well.
Congratulations, Mrs. Crittenden.
Good evening, and thank you. Good evening, board members, Dr. Lewis. I thank you all for this honor. I do want to say to my principal, Mr. Henderson, I cannot thank you enough. First and foremost, it's easy for me to do my job because I spend 99% of every single day in my role as a counselor. So it makes it so easy. We all have additional duties and responsibilities, but my principal makes sure that I am servicing our students, and our teachers respect that as well. And it makes it so much easier, especially right now with all of the needs that our students have in this COVID era. And so it's easy to go above and beyond the duty because I'm allowed to do exactly what it is that I'm supposed to be doing and not spending my time doing additional things that of course have to be done as well, but I'm serving in my counseling role. And I am so thankful that I'm in a school where I am allowed to do that. I also want to thank Dr. Nelson because she is the one who has pushed me for years. And because of her pushing me, I have been blessed to serve on state level roles. I've served in many district capacities. Now I'm serving in a mentoring capacity with a lot of our new counselors, beginning counselors. And in our district, we talk about the we. With our seasoned counselors, I also like to thank them because we really rely and depend on each other. So I thank Dr. Nelson, I thank Mr. Henderson, I thank my Richards family, and I thank my co-counselor, Ms. Williams, because right about now, I certainly could not do it without her. And of course, I thank my family and my friends. So thank you all so much for this opportunity. And I am just blessed and I'm grateful for this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you so much and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. We thank you, most primarily for your service, but for your enthusiasm and your energy.
Thank
and
you.
With that, that concludes our report.
Thank you, Ms. Parham. On next is the public agenda. We only have one person on the public agenda today, and that's Mr. Bruce Swanson. And I also want to say, even virtually, all official meetings of the board shall be open to the press and the public. However, the board may meet in executive session. Citizens are encouraged to address items on the board agenda or to initiate presentations of issues appropriate for school board consideration. The board meeting is not the appropriate place to review individual employee performance or individual parent complaints that have not yet been addressed by the principal or superintendent. Citizens are encouraged to follow normal channels to address such problems. And right now we have Mr. Bruce Swanson. If you would unmute, sir, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys about our program and hopefully introduce it to Muskogee County and your local schools. Like I said, I'm Bruce Swanson, Director and co-founder of Education's First Fund, and in short, EF2 Realty. You can go to the next slide. I'd been in a real estate business. Keep going, one more, I apologize. I'd been in business for about 15 years when I met my business partner and co-founder of EF2 Realty, Dr. Keith Ingram. I had gotten in discussions with Dr. Keith, who had just retired from a career in education. He had spent 33 years, the last 20 years in administration as a principal in the local schools. And as a father of a child in the local schools, we got to talking about money and the challenges that their local schools had in raising money for programs and the principals having to raise money for discretionary funds. I'd been a volunteer for many years, going to bingo night, going to fall festivals, donating money for banners in the outfield. And I asked Dr. Keith, I said, don't we have money for our schools? And he quickly educated me the challenges that our school system has in raising money for the schools. And in discussions, we created what we call EF2 Education's First Fund, which is a high-level partnership with our local schools, and it's done at an individual school level, where the premise is every time we close a real estate transaction, we make a $500 donation back to one of our partner schools. That money is designated by the person in the transaction, either the buyer or the seller. They can dictate what school it goes to. They can also assign that money, half of that money, to a particular program. If they have a child that's in special needs or in band and they'd like to see half the money go to that program, they can, or they can have it go to a certain teacher's classroom to be used for their supplies and needs. In a little less than 3 years, we have donated over $125,000 back to our local school system. We went from doing 40 transactions to over 112 transactions last year just by promoting this program to the community, and the community embraced it and saw the good that we were doing for the schools. So you can go to the next slide. So we were talking to Keller Williams International and our regional directors, and they said, can you duplicate this program? And we said, absolutely. So we have partnered with the Durham Sears team in Columbus, Georgia. They've been in business for over 20 years. They're already producing at a very high level, averaging 80 to 90 transactions. And you guys can probably do the math at 80 or 90 transactions, that's $40,000 or $45,000 that they're already willing to donate back to the local schools and partners. And with just a little bit of effort and a little bit of promotion on their part, that number will accelerate drastically. I want to be clear, okay, because this has been a misconception in talking around the country about this and around the area. This is not a partnership with Muskogee County. The reason for this call and for this education right now is just to let you know about the program and the particulars about the program. All we ask from a county level is that we get the opportunity to sit down with the individual principals and give them the chance to partner and see if they want to be a preferred vendor of ours and get on the list where we can start donating money to them. Okay, we're not asking from Muskogee County to sign anything or even publicly acknowledge us for that matter. All we're asking is that if we contact the local principals, we know they're going to call you and say, hey, these guys want to give me money. Can I do this? And we just want you to be aware of the program and hopefully say, yes, these guys are legitimate. They're doing a great thing and you can be their partner if you wish. So I can talk about this forever. We're very passionate about it, but I'm hoping that we can introduce this program to your local schools and we can start donating money and helping your children as well, like we've done here in Cherokee County. If anyone has any specific questions, there's a lot to the program. Bruce Swanson at kw.com or Keith Ingram at kw.com. And Dr. Lewis has our email addresses. Feel free to email us directly. Again, I appreciate the time. And hopefully we can introduce this program and start contributing to your local schools as well.
All right, thank you, Mr. Swanson. We appreciate you coming along, and I can assure you that in Muskogee County, we call it public-private partnerships. You may not call it a partnership, and we have absolutely no problem in accepting donations from the business community. And so if Dr. Lewis and you all would work together to make the connection or whatever we normally do when our local community, business community want to make contributions and donations to our schools or any programming. And so we will let you work with the superintendent on that.
Fantastic. We look forward to it.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, board, we will move into our action agenda. Item 4.01, the superintendent is recommending, upon receipt of our CARES Act 2 federal funding, that he's recommending the remaining scheduled furlough days for the 2020-2021 school year be rescinded for all employees effective February 17th.
Move approval, Kathy Williams.
Motion by Ms. Williams, second by Mr. Cantrell. Are there any questions?
Vote yes.
We are ready for the vote now.
This is Kia Chambers. I vote yes.
Thank you, Ms. Chambers.
I don't have a vote from Lori McCrae.
It's not popping up. But I vote yes. It's not showing up for some reason.
All right, that passes without a question, but I think Dr. Lewis, board members would really be interested in the administration to take a look at options to incentivize the retention of our employees through some form of supplemental compensation. If you would review that and follow back up with us.
Yes, ma'am.
Item 4.02 is the extension of the memorandum of understanding with United Way for the full service community grant programs at Brewer, Martin Luther King Jr. Elementary School, Dorothy Height Elementary School, for a total grant award of
it's about $2.5 million for a 5-year period.
Okay. Motion, please.
Move approval.
Motion by Ms. Williams, second by
Ms. Buckner.
Second by Ms. Buckner. Are there any questions?
Mr. Moser is here with the Executive Director of United Way if anyone should have questions or clarification needed.
How about a collective thank you?
Absolutely. Well, this is, again, the submittal is not until March 1st, and this is a competitive grant through the U.S. Department of Education. But we thank very much United Way and Mr. Mosier for thinking of us to incorporate us into this proposal. So thank you, Mr. Mosier.
None of this happens on its own. It takes work, and I know these grants can be consuming, and I just hope he knows how much we appreciate their efforts.
Absolutely. They've been a great partner, along with all their other partners they work with in the community.
Thank you all.
Any questions for? Are we ready to vote? We are voting now. Ms. Chambers, Dr. Sly.
I vote yes.
I vote yes. This is Kia Chambers.
All right, that passes. Item 4.03 is the new engineering magnet proposal for downtown elementary school. Superintendent is recommending approval.
Move to approve. Naomi.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Buckner, second by
I'd like to
Kia
Chambers.
I'd like to Chambers.
Yes.
Are there any questions? We heard the presentation. We had a lot of great comments last week, and Ms. Buckner failed to give us our disclaimer as we started zooming through these agenda items.
This is a good time to lead into that, Mrs. Green.
Yes, ma'am.
Just as Ms. Green has said on last week, we talked a lot about the new engineering magnet program, and it was we all enjoyed the presentation, and we're looking forward to that starting this coming year. But just as we discussed that one, we'd like the public to know that we discussed all of these items thoroughly on last week, and we take your business, we take our business we take your business as being important as we discuss and vet all these items each week. We are not just running through each item, but they have thoroughly been discussed.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're ready to vote now. Vote. Did this item pop up yet? Okay, we're ready to vote now. Dr. Sly, Ms. Chambers.
I'd like to vote yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Positively.
Dr. Sly.
He's on mute.
Vote yes.
Thank you very much. Excuse me. All right, that passes. Congratulations, Dr. Wiggins. I understand you're in the waiting room, or maybe they've let you out.
I am actually here, and I cannot let the evening go by without saying thank you to Dr. Lewis and to all of the school board members, to include Dr. Michael Edmondson. He and I shared several conversations. Engineering is in his wheelhouse, and I'm so grateful for Dr. Edmondson, and I'm doubly grateful for Miss Kathy Williams, our school board representative for Downtown Elementary. The faculty and staff are super excited. We're super excited, and we are ready to take on this endeavor. Thank you again for hearing our proposal and giving us the opportunity to serve students in Muskogee County School District. Thank you, board members.
Thank you so much, and congratulations. And I guess y'all will get to work tomorrow, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good deal. Thank you. Have a good evening. Item 4.04 is the policy FDC of naming the facilities. It's up for a vote now. It has sat on the table for 30 days. Are there any other comments or questions about it?
Move approval.
Motion by Ms. Williams, second by?
Second, Kia Chambers.
Chambers. Any further questions? We are ready to vote.
I vote approval.
I vote yes as well.
Thank you. All right, that motion passes. That item passes. Item 4.05, Superintendent is recommending that we accept the extension of the Families First Coronavirus Act, known as FFCRA, through March 31st, 2021 for employees.
Move to approve, Naomi Buckner.
Motion by Ms. Buckner, second by
Second it.
Second.
Dr.
Trail.
Sly. Okay.
Any questions? We're ready to vote now. Dr. Sly, Ms. Chambers.
I'd like to vote yes.
Dr. Sly, you as well?
I vote yes.
Thank you. That motion passes. Item 4.06 is the updated Citizen SPLOST list for members for 2020. It should be a completed list at this time. Motion.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Williams, second by Ms. Buckner. Are there any questions? We are ready to vote now. Ms. Chambers, Dr. Sly.
I vote yes.
Yes.
Thank you. That passes. Next item, 4.07, is the Jordan College and Career Academy project. Superintendent is recommending approval of the GM guaranteed maximum price of $2.6 million for the Career Academy project.
Move to approve, Naomi Buckner.
Ms. Buckner, second
Second,
by
Kia Chambers.
Chambers. Are there any questions? We're ready to vote now.
I'd like to vote yes.
Dr. Sly, you hit mute.
I vote yes.
Thank you. All right, that passes. Item 4.07 is also for Jordan High School. Superintendent is recommending approval of French and Associates to design and oversee the handicap accessibility project.
Move to approve.
Motion by Ms. Buckner, second by?
Second, Kia Chambers.
All right, second by Ms. Chambers. Are there any questions? We're ready to vote now. Dr. Sly, Ms. Chambers?
Yes.
Vote yes.
Thank you. That motion passes. Item 4.09, Superintendent is recommending approval of the change order for the athletic fields upgrade project extension.
Move to approve, Naomi Buckner.
Motion by Ms. Buckner, second by?
Kia Chambers, second.
Ms. Chambers. Are there any questions? We're ready to vote now.
Do I do it?
That's a yes vote for Kia Chambers.
Dr. Sly?
Vote yes.
Thank you.
Crazy. Goddamn. Bloody.
I'm sorry.
This change order is to add additional scoreboards for the athletic project at Kendrick, Northside, Shaw, Carver, Hardaway, and Jordan.
I'd like to move to approve. This is Kia Chambers.
Okay, that's on 4.10. Ms. Chambers is motioning approval of the easement for Georgia Power. Is there a second?
Second it.
Any discussion? We're ready to vote now. And if I didn't say so, 4.9 did pass. Dr. Sly, Ms. Chambers.
That's yes.
I vote yes.
All right, thank you. That motion passes. 4.11 is the amended list for the architect and engineering. The
Move
superintendent's
to approve, Naomi Buckner.
motion by Ms.
Second.
Buckner, second by,
Kia Chambers, second.
all right. Are there any questions? We're ready to vote. Dr. Sly, Ms. Chambers.
I'd like to vote yes.
I vote yes.
All right, thank you very much. That passes. The consent agenda is next. Are there any items or that you want to vote separately, board members, or any additional questions, or you want to specifically highlight any particular item in the consent agenda?
Is Mrs. Williams going to do her thing about the donations? Of course, we all, any of us do.
I would love to take this opportunity to thank all of our partners, corporate, private, personal, clubs, sororities, fraternities, organizations for their full support of our public education system. We couldn't do it without it. We are definitely the envy of many districts around this country.
Indeed. Thank you so very much.
I'd like to move that we approve the consent agenda.
Motion by Ms. Chambers.
Second, Naomi Buckner.
All right, we're ready to vote. Ms. Chambers and Dr. Sly.
Yes.
I vote yes.
Thank you very much. All right, the consent agenda passes. That brings us to the conclusion of our board meeting. Are there any updates or requests from board members before we hear from Dr. Lewis?
I just request just a quick update from Dr. Lewis on any weather issues that we might have had today or anticipate for tomorrow.
I think
Well, I'm pleased to say with the, I'm sorry.
I was going to ask if anyone had anything else because I knew you were prepared to do that. All right, Dr. Lewis.
Well, yes, thank you for that, Ms. Williams. Yes, we are very fortunate. We, as you all know, we keep a very vigilant eye on the weather, talking with meteorologists and gathering information from all over the region. We absolutely had no problems with any kind of ice situations today that I've been made aware of. Our buses all transported students safely and, to my knowledge, on time. Of course, we are concerned about the cold temperatures. As a result of that, yesterday, today and tomorrow, our buildings will be open earlier than usual to welcome students in out of the cold, frigid temperatures when we expect the wind chills to be hovering around the upper teens, low 20s. So again, we just ask that parents, as you send your children out, please make sure they're dressed properly and warmly. and they go right into the school as soon as they arrive on the campus, so we can make sure they stay out of that bitter cold that some of them would otherwise be in. But other than that, I just cannot thank our, just so everyone knows, when we go through these weather situations, as I mentioned, we talk with our meteorologists locally and our regional forecasters. But on top of that, for example, this morning early in the wee hours, plant services, transportation staff, and our police department was out. We're all out on the roadways checking for any hazardous conditions that would then be radioed back. So ultimately, I just want to make sure everybody understands that the safety and welfare of students and staff is always paramount in our mind in terms of making decisions, and followed shortly by that by allowing our students to have as much time in school as possible. So just very appreciative for all the people who contribute to helping to make those decisions. Tracy Fox, our risk management director, Dave Goldberg, our chief operations officer, and so many more, Chief Art, Ray Hill, so many more that go into ensuring the safety and welfare of all of our students and employees.
Okay.
Also, I'd just like to say today you should have or will be receiving the calendar survey going out to all of our parents and employees. That is open from this point through close of business, 5 o'clock on February 23rd. So please complete that survey so we can have everyone's input on that. And finally, we've heard so much about acts of kindness, and we've heard about the value of our partnerships and so many people in the community who donate to make our schools what they are. Just like to bring to everyone's attention that I received today the Muskogee Educational Excellence Foundation Board, otherwise known as MEF, the board, will be delivering donuts to all of our schools next week, Tuesday through Friday. That's over 3,768 donuts to all 56 schools by our volunteers and board members in recognition of all the work that our teachers do every day, but also in honor of our Teachers of the Year, our Harvard Fellows, and our Button Scholars. So we want to thank them and the board for what they're going to do to take a little sweet treat around next week for all of our schools, and every teacher will be receiving that next week. So they'll be hand delivering those during the course of the next several days next week. So thank you.
Yeah, great. Thanks. Thanks. Okay. Anything else, board members?
I'd like to move to adjourn if there's nothing else, Ms. Green.
Motion by Ms. Buckner to adjourn, second by Ms. Williams with the hand raised.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night.
That passes.
Good night.
Good night to all. Thank you.